What is going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for joining the Tyromper podcast, No Limit podcast, episode number 13, 14, 15, somewhere around there. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Tonight, got a special guest. It's one of my favorite humans on earth. This is a woman that is only 23 years old, but she's taking over for the Fit Twitter space. This is a woman that wrote the book, Eat for Energy. It's an awesome nutrition guide. This is a woman that was formerly depressed, suffered from severe anxiety and depression, but through movement, training, and diet and mindset, now lives an on-firing, inspiring life and helps others achieve the same. This is just a woman that I am honored to call one of my friends, colleagues, best people I've ever met. Mackenzie Smith, welcome to the pod. Thanks so much for coming on tonight.
What an intro, man. Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate you coming on. For anybody who's maybe watching this on YouTube, you'll notice I am wearing this weird cloth thing tonight. It's freezing here, and my daughter, it's raining. It very rarely rains. My daughter wanted to play outside, so that's why I'm clothed tonight. I'm pretty cold, but I appreciate you taking the time to come on. I feel like we kind of came on Twitter about the same time and connected pretty early. Can you kind of give anybody who might not know you just kind of like an elevator speech or a rundown, just a little bit about you?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of nailed it already, but yeah, Mackenzie, I live in Arizona, 23. Basically, most of my life was pretty rough, not the best. I was depressed, underweight, had anxiety, binge ate, like all that kind of stuff. And basically through transforming my physical health, my mental health transformed, and then that sort of got me to where I am today. And so now I'm just on a mission to help people sort of do the same, transform their life, get to a better place.
That's so awesome. And, for being as young as you are, I think it's such a neat thing because I know for myself, I went through a very, very big party phase, basically lasted all of my 20s. I know from talking to you a little bit, you were kind of in that. Can you kind of describe, what that was like, how you got into that? And then kind of maybe was it a light bulb moment that pulled you out or what got you onto this other side?
Well, yeah, so man, where do I start? Yeah, so most of my life was I was basically like surviving, I would say. I wouldn't even say living, just sort of like going through the motions. Like I would get through school, or I ended up leaving school early most days and just come home, like watch Netflix, lay down, repeat. Like there's no passion, no purpose, just there's nothing. I had nothing to live for, really. And so I was playing volleyball at the time, and so I actually got a gym membership just to stay in shape during volleyball off season. And that's when it occurred to me, I'm like, oh, this actually helps a lot with anxiety. Like I feel better, I got the endorphins flow, and like I felt really good. And so basically I got hooked on that. And I maybe even too far. I went a little too far there, overtraining and all that, but it did help. And then as a byproduct of that, I sort of got into nutrition, and that's sort of when everything changed for me. Because training alone was very helpful, but I was still like depressed. I was still on my medication. And so once I targeted my diet, that really opened the door for me, got me off my meds, and sort of got me on the path to where I am today.
That's so awesome. That's really cool. And kudos to you for taking that big leap. I feel like, I would say on autopilot for a long time too, and just existing where I really resonate with that, where I would wake up and literally my thoughts were all negative, and like I couldn't wait until the day was over so that I could get back in bed and watch Netflix or whatever I was watching that night. And it's like, what a depressing way to live. But I lived that way for a while, and I never really thought about, the food I'm putting in my body, the amount of movement, the amount of sunlight I'm getting myself every day makes a huge difference. So once you kind of get on this journey and kind of flip on the other side, then did you kind of transition out of like, the anxiety get a little better, those thoughts get better, you kind of got a new friend circle, or can you walk me through a little bit of that journey?
Yeah, so I was doing pretty decent with just the gym, and then I focused on my nutrition. I actually did a diet called the Elimination diet, and that sort of got me, okay, there was one moment I really remember that still sort of gives me the chills when I think about, like, I felt happy for the first time since I could remember, like literally years. Like I felt true happiness. I was driving to work, like nothing had happened. I was just driving to work, just average day, and I just felt so happy. I started crying tears of joy. I'm just like, wow, like I'm on the right path. Like this is it. And so, yeah, I just kept at it, and like eventually I felt so good. I was able to get off my meds, and like things were fine. Things were just like normal, and then just kept on that self-improvement journey, trying to better myself one day at a time.
Wow, that's a few things in there. That's amazing. Number one, I think, to hear you say, you of all people, like, oh, I felt happy for the first time. I mean, every one of your tweets now is like, I'm just so grateful for this. I'm just so blessed for this. Like, that's pretty much your whole MO now, is just, you feel a lot of gratitude and gratefulness, it seems like. And I go back to a guy I know we both follow and love, is Dan, Fit Founder on Twitter. And
Mhm.
he always says that weightlifting is a gateway drug to self-improvement. It seems like that was definitely the case for you. It just has kind of kept you rolling and spiraling in a good direction, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the case for most people too. Like you start with just going to the gym, but then just the act of going to the gym makes you have better habits the rest of the day. Like you want to eat healthier, you want to just do all these other things to keep on that track. So it kind of snowballs like that, which is cool.
Yeah, you get kind of addicted to feeling good. It's like when you
Yeah.
feel good. I kind of remember feeling a switch myself too when I started like waking up earlier and going to the gym. And then like, okay, now I started dialing in what I ate for lunch every day instead of going to McDonald's or like Taco Bell. Like I'm gonna meal prep and eat this healthy food. And then I remember like seeing other people around me that I was kind of like, they were complaining, oh, I don't have any energy, all this stuff. And I'm like still feeling good. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of addicted to this feeling now. How do I get more of this? You kind of just keep going along that path. Was there a lot of trial and error in there, or did you journal out a lot of this stuff? Or when you talk about elimination diet, what does that sort of mean?
Okay, yeah. There's definitely a lot of trial and error. But yeah, regarding the elimination diet, basically, okay, I will preface this by saying I'm not a doctor. Like, follow your doctor's advice. I'm just telling you my experience, what I did. But yeah, so basically, it's a process of taking all commonly inflammatory foods, eliminating them for 6 to 8 weeks, and then reintroducing them one by one to test and see how your body reacts. Because oftentimes you've been eating the same foods your entire life, and your body tries to adapt the best it can with what you're giving it. So even if foods are messing you up, like your body will adapt and try to like make it more manageable for you. So you won't realize how bad they are for you until you like do that reset for 6 to 8 weeks. And then once you reintroduce them, like you'll be like, oh shit, like this has been messing me up for years. And I just now realized it. So yeah, that was kind of like what opened my eyes and like what showed me what was mainly causing like the depression and anxiety. And to be fair, it's not only just for like negative things. Yes, it reveals your like food intolerances, but it also can reveal foods that make you feel better. You might realize, oh, this food gives me more energy, like helps, like gets me pumped, like whatever. So it goes both ways, and it's super valuable to know like the foods that work optimally for your body.
Wow. That's really powerful. How did you discover that? Did you discover that reading, or 'cause I've heard of people talk about, maybe you, elimination diet, but I never knew what it was. That's a really powerful thing.
Yeah, I think I just got into like I was getting more into the fitness. I was listening to podcasts and I think someone mentioned it. And so I like started looking into it. I'm like, okay, like I have nothing to lose at this point, so might as well try it. Um,
That's so
yeah.
awesome. I think anybody listening can have a big takeaway from that it's a personal thing too, right? Like it's, people like, oh, keto worked for me, so everybody should do keto. It's like we should listen to our body. When I started really getting in tune with what I was putting in my body too, I did a food journal for 2 weeks,
Hmm.
or I would just eat normal. Like I hate to admit this, but like Frosted Flakes and like, all these, I eat all these cereals all the time. But then I would write like 15 minutes later how I felt, how my mood
Mhm.
was and energy from 1 to 100. And I was just able to piece together like, man, every time I'm eating these types of foods, I feel like crap. All I want to do is go lay down. When I eat these kinds of foods, man, I got energy. I can run around. So I'm just going to base my diet and life off of that. It sounds similar to what you do. So do you eat a lot of the same foods then now?
Yeah, I mean, my diet's fairly simple, mainly whole foods, a lot of rice, meats, veggies, like nothing crazy.
Yeah. And that's the thing though. It tastes pretty good. Like people are always like, oh, doesn't it get, well, dude, when you're eating like grilled chicken and steak and veggies and right, like it tastes pretty good to me. I have no complaints. People always say, how do you give up this or that? And like, I don't know. It seems pretty easy to me, but
Well, yeah, and because I feel amazing. Like when I choose to like don't get me wrong, like if I want to eat junk or whatever, I can eat it. Like it's not like I'm restricted in any way, but why would I want to do that if I'm gonna feel like shit, if I'm gonna get depressed, have anxiety? Like what's the point? It's not worth it to me. So like it's pretty easy to stay away once you know, oh, if I eat this, then this is gonna happen. Like
yeah.
it kind of takes that away.
That's true. Once you kind of are really intentional around that, and it's crazy to me that's why I think me and you and a lot of us in this space are so passionate about people taking control of their life and trying to come to this other side. Because I think very few people get to where you're at and then say, I don't even care if I feel good, I'm going back. Like once
Yeah.
you kind of get on this other side, man, all you want to do is help other people. Because I think we all, we joke about, you work in an office type environment too. And I did too for a long time. I mean, you see that most people come in complaining, they're tired, they have no energy, there's not much purpose. What shows are you watching? That's the kind of talk most of the day. and you just kind of want to shake people and yell at them like, there's a better way I can help you.
That's literally me every day at work. Or they'll even ask me for advice, and I'll like tell them, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that," or "Oh, whatever excuse." I'm like, oh, "Okay, like I'm not gonna force you, but when you're ready, I'm here."
Yeah. And I think that's the coolest thing is you live a life that's like people can just see, hey man, this is where you were. I mean, I'm going to read your pinned tweet here. Is that okay if I read that?
Yeah.
I mean, me at 18, alone, suicidal, hated myself, dealing with trauma, nothing to live for. Me now at 23, surrounded by amazing people, free of mental illness, started a business, found purpose, confident, happy. This is your reminder that it does get better. And it's like, I can't stop smiling when I read that. I've only known that second half of you, obviously. You know, we've known each other for a little over a year now or something, but it's just, you radiate positivity. You radiate, I want to help everyone. So it's just so good to see you on this other side, you know?
Right back at you.
It's funny. I got to tell a story. Me and Mackenzie connected maybe over a year, like a year and a half ago. We each had maybe what, 10,000 teammates on Twitter or something like that. And
yeah, so I don't remember.
we went to an engagement group together. And I remember, I don't know how it came up, but it's like, hey, you want to hop on a call? And I think both of us hopped on the call thinking, I was like, dude, this girl's got it all together. I'm going to learn a lot from her. And I think you thought me the same way. And then we realized like neither of us know what we're doing at all. We just like, it's like a really funny moment of like, oh, you don't really know what you're doing either.
And even still to this day, to be fair, I want to clarify. I'm still in that boat, just figuring out as I go.
That's very true. And I think that's like a common misconception for people, even like starting a business or doing, oh, I got to have it all figured out. Or, oh, all these people feel like they have it all figured out. Whereas like, you know, you're a huge account on Twitter, on Instagram, all these things. Yeah, you're just waking up and kind of doing your thing each day. You know, you're putting your thoughts out there. You're just being you, just trying to help people, and you're really successful at it, you know?
Yeah, really, it just comes down to just showing up every day. Like even if you have no clue what you're doing, just show up, do what you got to do. Just know your goal, take a little baby step toward that goal. That's all you can do. Just keep showing up, and the pieces will fall into place eventually. That's sort of what I live by, at least, and it's worked so far. So
I definitely agree with you. And I know one of your big visions, you just traveled abroad. You went to, can I say the place?
yeah.
To Costa Rica for a month, right?
3 months.
3 months, man. Yeah, I miss seeing those pictures on Instagram, all those beautiful waterfalls every day. You're putting those up. Those are pretty cool. Can you kind of tell us about that experience? And I know you kind of have a vision of, you know, wanting a family someday, kind of to live that abroad lifestyle. Can you kind of like talk about that trip and how you kind of want to piece all that together?
Yeah, so how it started was I went to Costa Rica just for a week-long vacation earlier this year. I believe it was like March, just with my friend, just nothing crazy. And I fell in love basically. Like I got home and I couldn't stop thinking about it there. Like I just felt like that's where I was meant to be. Like it's hard to explain. I never felt that way before. And so I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna go pick up my bags, move there for a bit, see what happens. And it was amazing to say the least.
So your work was cool with you working remotely, and you just got to work remotely and kind of have a bunch of adventures there. I mean, your pictures were amazing. Like you met a couple people, found a cool gem there. You're like, take amazing hikes and walks every day.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that my work allowed me to work remote there. That was very helpful. And yeah, just did tons of exploring, lots of waterfalls, lots of beach. I went skydiving, cliff jumping, just all the things.
Your cliff jumping gave me a heart attack, man. I got, I just like, I see you on this high thing. All of a sudden you jump off. I'm like, my friend, she's gonna be all right, man. This is crazy. But luckily you made it out. But yeah, that seemed really neat. Did you meet a lot of local people down there too? And did you have like people you were training with down there? Or I saw a couple pictures.
Yeah, I met some people. That was one thing I really wanted to push myself to do while I was there, because I'm a very quiet person, introverted person. I like doing my own thing. I don't really like socializing, meeting new people. That's just not me. And so while I was there, I really forced myself to get out of my comfort zone, like talk to people, make friends. And it was awesome. It was cool. I met a lot of cool people. I made friends with some locals, some that I'm still in contact with. And then I also made friends who were just like visiting there, because it's hard to meet a ton of people when it's sort of touristy and like not everyone's there for 3 months like I am. But I did meet a lot of like temporary friends. We had fun. So it was really cool. And I also realized I'm not the only crazy person going to live abroad or whatever. Like there's so many people that are just traveling alone, going through like all of Central America, South America, like everywhere by themselves. I'm like, it's so badass. It's really cool to meet all those kinds of people with a similar mindset as me.
That's really cool. That's awesome to push yourself too, to kind of have that like realization at a young age. Hey, I am tend to be more like this. I've done the opposite because like put me in a room of 1,000 people, man. I'll have 999 friends in an hour. You know, this
Absolutely.
is what I like. You know, so I think my wife has helped me realize a little bit that sometimes you have to have boundaries and kind of it's okay to have quiet time and reflect more and things like that. She's helped me with that a lot, but it's good for you to push that other way, I think, and have that realization that, hey, I don't just want to be kind of on my own all the time. I want to branch out, do some things that make me uncomfortable. So that's cool. And I'm sure you grow a lot when you do that.
Yeah, definitely. I will say it's probably not something I'm going to take with me like every day of my life, because I do love how I am. Like I love my life. I love being alone, just doing my own thing, but I also know that's important to sort of push myself in certain situations and put myself out there. So I'm trying to find the balance right now.
Yeah, that's what we're all trying to do. Just figure it out little by little. Keep going. Well, I know one of your tweets, and from talking to you a little bit, after that trip, it was, I think it went one of your biggest tweets that was, I'm manifesting this. I'm going to have a family. I'm going to have this beach house. I'm going to be in good shape with, a guy I love, all, these kids. Now, selfishly, I very much want that for you so that I can bring my crazy 10 kids or how many we end up having. Visit you in Costa Rica at a beach house or whatnot. But is there kind of some intention behind that, or what kind of spurred that?
Honestly, not a ton. I mean, those are just sort of like broad goals I have for myself. The biggest one is honestly just living on the beach. It sounds kind of weird, but like after being in Costa Rica, like that is my favorite place in the world. Just being on the beach, it just makes me so peaceful, like so calm. Like it's hard to explain. Like I could literally sit there for 8 hours a day, just go swimming, just chill, and like it's my happy place. And so I definitely need that in my future. And so that's sort of where that came from.
That's awesome. Well, any goal you set, I'm pretty confident you're gonna attain that from just knowing you a while.
Yeah, you can come visit me.
Yeah, 100%, man. As long as you don't mind me bringing, I'll have, who knows how many kids we'll have, man. We just got another one a couple months ago. So
I know, that's crazy. You're wild, but I love it.
Well, I know, Joey and Kelly, and we know a lot of common people, Joel, the Arizona crew. I got to come down and meet you in person, get a couple lifts with you guys and hang out. That was one of the best days of my life, by the way. It was so cool to sit there and hang out and get to meet really like-minded people with similar mindsets and goals. And can you talk a little bit about like your goal settings? Something that really inspired me that day, how kind of your process around, hey, when I have these visions or I see where I want my life to go, do you map that out in journal form? Do you just kind of, hey, this is my vision and now I'm going to wake up every day and execute it? Or what's kind of your process around that?
Yeah, I don't have much of a process, honestly. A lot of journaling. I do daily journals. Like mainly it's just like sort of like a brain dump, just everything that's on my mind. I'll also like write down my goals like for the day, for the future, whatever. And a lot of manifestation too. Like in my morning meditations, I'll do my meditation section at the end. I save a few minutes to like manifest, like think about those goals I have and like really feel like what it would be like to be there, like who would be there with me, like that kind of stuff. I think that's huge too. But yeah, mainly just like keep me in the back of my mind and just doing those daily steps to get there.
That's huge. Those manifestations and those, like I say, daily affirmations every day to myself too. I just like look myself in the mirror and tell myself who I am, who I'm going to become, all these things. And people look at me like I'm weird, they think you're really weird for doing that. I think there's so much power behind the words we say. And that's why I'm very careful. Even the words I choose, I don't really believe in self-deprecating humor. And I just really believe we should always speak life into ourselves, other people, all these things. It's really powerful. So for you to have that figured out at a young age is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that's actually a big reason that like helped me with my transformation. Because like if we flash back to like my previous self at 18, if like in that tweet, all I told myself was negative stuff, sort of like you mentioned earlier. Like it was all just beating myself up, saying I'm not good enough, I'll never be good enough, I'm fat, I'm ugly, like just all these terrible things. And so that was just holding me back. It was keeping me in that place. And so once I realized like the way you speak to yourself, the words you say, it actually creates your reality. Like that was a game changer. So I switched over time, obviously, but like I no longer have any negative thoughts about myself. Like I always like, or if I could do, I catch myself and I turn into a positive. And so that's like huge for mental health and just like getting you close to your goals.
That right there is worth $1 million. That's powerful right there. I mean, really, the way you speak to yourself, that little voice is with you 24/7, you know? And I mean, before, if I think back 4, 5, 6 years ago, I was always telling myself that you're not good enough at this. You don't deserve this. You don't, you know what? This is just who you are. You just have anxiety. You just have depression. This is who you are, you know? And I would speak to myself like that. And I think I wouldn't speak to anyone else like that. You know, and there's no way I would tell even my worst enemy these things. So why am I allowing myself to speak like that? And it was my coach, Zach Hommel, helped me really overcome that a lot of your self-talk, and how you speak to yourself is so powerful. And so do you still catch yourself from time to time when you have those negative thoughts come in? Do you kind of have a process around, hey, I want to reframe those?
Yeah, honestly, they don't come often, which is great. I've worked really hard to get to that point, but like obviously we're human, like it's always gonna happen. But I have a lot of self-awareness that I've built like through meditation, through journaling. So like I pick up on it right away. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And so I'll literally call myself up and be like, hell no. It's this instead, and I'll change it to a positive affirmation.
Good for you. Wow, that's awesome. Well, I know one thing that you really pumps you up to is helping other people. We've shared a lot of that like off Twitter and off platform. I know nothing fires me up more than like seeing a guy or girl that I'm coaching winning. I know you're the same way. Can you talk us through like what it's like to, you know, be coached by Mackenzie, you know, clients you've worked with? Cause I know it fires you up. You get off these calls and you're like me, like, I gotta go work out. I gotta go do something. I'm so fired up after these client calls. So can you kind of talk us to us about your coaching a little bit, how that started?
Yeah, well, basically, I was very passionate about fitness, obviously, like that's sort of what brought me to where I am today. And so it only recently occurred to me, like, why don't I take this and use it to help others? Amazing. So yeah, so I started promoting myself on Twitter and stuff and started getting a few clients. And basically I just try to help them through sort of like what I did. Usually they aren't in such extreme cases, but we'll get them on a weight training program, get them exercising regularly, fix up their diet, like that kind of stuff. And I always like being there for daily accountability just to keep them motivated, keep them on track. And yeah, it's awesome to see like just them building confidence, like losing that weight or just feeling stronger. Like it changes everything. Like they say, like, oh, I'm better at work now, or I have more time for family, or it changes everything. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, I think life is beautifully rigged in a way where like you can't not feel great helping other people. And so when
Yeah.
you're kind of choose a career around that, like, man, I just want to help other people. Like, man, it's just like you're just fist pumping all day, because it's like you're hearing a client tell you, man, I'm down 30 pounds and now I can run around the park with my kids. It's changed my whole life, you know? And I know from some of the guys, you know, you've coached, or some of the girls you've coached, and tell me some of the stories, like, dude, it's just so powerful. They're where they were to where they are. And just to know that you even had a small piece in that is like such a powerful thing, you know? And I hope you keep expanding your platform. I'm sure you will, to kind of keep coaching. And I think a lot of your diet advice and your ebooks and things like that will help people. So I want everybody to know I'm going to link all of Mackenzie's stuff below. Her coaching, her ebooks, her you know, everything will be down below. So you can check that out.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And so where do you see yourself going then? What are some more goals you have, you know, sort of for the next year? Do you plan to expand kind of on social media? You're killing it on Twitter and Instagram. You gonna get in that
Yeah.
TikTok game, or what do you got planned for us?
Oh man. I don't know about TikTok. I'm trying. It's not for me. But yeah, goal is I want to get coaching to be my full-time gig. Like it gets me so pumped. Like I could work all day doing that. It just makes me feel so good. So I want that to be my full-time thing. And so that's what I'm working toward mainly.
Nice.
And then yeah, I also just want to travel, see more of the world, sort of just push myself, just have those experiences while I'm younger.
That's awesome. That's cool. And I feel like, you know, when did you start tweeting, if you don't mind me asking? Was it a couple of years ago? Or?
It was, I believe, beginning of 2020.
Okay, gotcha. So we came on about the same time, and I know we're like always around a couple hundred followers apart. Like, we always kind of go up the ladder at the same time.
I'm competing with you secretly.
Well, it's funny because I'll check where you're at every couple months. And I'm like, that's me. That's my girl. She's killing it too, man. But I feel like Twitter's pretty amazing, and it allows us to kind of have that brain dump that you spoke about too, that like you can just share your thoughts. And I feel like it's different. Like I have a hard time getting in like TikTok or something. Not there's anything wrong with it, but it's just like a 7-second clip. But like Twitter, I feel like, man, if somebody follows you, like before I met you, Joey, Kelly, Joel, even a lot of these people I go on retreats with and stuff, like I feel like I already know them, because like, dude, I'm seeing 5 of their thoughts every day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm seeing what you're doing, your daily life, your self-talk, what, your best tips and practices. I just love Twitter, and I love the community that we're all in.
I know, it's awesome, and it's so cool to be able to like connect and have like such real relationships with like the people you follow, and like this, and like with Kelly and Joey. I don't know, it's just so cool to actually have that translate to real life too.
It is, man. That's a big tip I always tell people. I grew up in an era where like literally my mom and dad were like, don't meet people offline. Like, people offline are freaking creepy. Like, and now it's like, yeah, there's like 8 strangers coming to Vegas. We're getting a house. Like, we're going to all work out together and go on exotic hikes, like, it's kind of crazy, but I think it's such a cheat code, because I really think like, we were kind of confined back 20 years ago to, hey, whoever you live next to, like proximity kind of can find you, but now, like, dude, we can communicate every day. I can communicate with Joey and Zach and all these people that are very like-minded all over the world, which is such a neat thing, because, I've grown, and I think you probably have too, just from knowing you, from knowing Joey, from knowing Kelly, from knowing Joel, from all these people that we're kind of in contact with every day, just keeps making me better and better. And I'm super grateful for the platform that it allows us to do that,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to add, or anything you want to share? I always come to a podcast end where I have these rapid fire questions. Do you want to go into that, or do you want to share any other experiences or tell any fun tales or anything like that?
Nothing I can think of.
All right. If you think of something while I'm asking the questions, we'll come back to it. We go 5 rapid fire questions. Mackenzie, first thing that comes to your mind, just blurt it out. All right.
Okay.
You're going for a PR. What's the song you're playing?
Okay, well, I don't listen to songs, I listen to sets,
Okay.
but it would be an Excision set. Not that you know about it.
This to me. I don't know what this means.
So, okay, well, it's all EDM. I listen to like dubstep when I work out, so it's pretty hardcore, but
I like that. Something, like that stuff.
Yeah, but more intense.
Okay. All right, will you send me over a sample when we're done with this? I can listen to
Are
this.
you ready?
I listen to 99% Jesus music, man. So I don't know if I'm ready for that or not.
I'll send it though.
Okay. So that's what you're going. That's pretty much what you work out to every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Nice. All right. This is a funny one, because when I talked to you and Kelly and a lot of my other friends, I talked Dr. Burrows on here a little bit ago, like, some of the stuff that you girls get in the DMs is just, it's even on the platform is just downright atrocious, man. As a dad of a daughter, man, it kind of makes me mad. But what is the craziest pickup line you post some of them and call these guys out, which I love. It's like my favorite thing, but it's kind of the craziest kind of thing you've had online.
I don't even remember off the top of my head, because I just screenshot and post them and delete them. I was like, oh, that's funny, whatever. I don't remember, but yeah, that's some pretty dumb shit.
Yeah, the worst is when it's like, it's like the guy's like married with kids in his profile, and he's still like sending you some creepy message. And I'm like, come on, man, like, what are you thinking here? But I love how you and Kelly and like a lot of my like girlfriends on Twitter are like calling these guys out, and then you'll look back 20 minutes later, they like deleted their account. They're like,
I know, I'm debating if I should just make a thread of like all the crazy DMs I get and just keep adding to it over time.
Let's answer that now. Yes.
Okay.
Just update it every couple months. That would be a funny thing. I would like that.
All right, stay tuned, everyone.
Here we go. I like that. What's the all-time favorite or most impactful book you've ever read?
Power Now.
Power of Now? Who wrote that?
Eckhart Tolle.
Okay, nice. What was a couple big takeaways in that you had, or?
Just being present in the moment and not letting your ego sort of control your life.
That's powerful. Anything you're currently reading now?
No.
I go through seasons and phases where I like get really into reading. I'll read every night for months, and then I'll go for a couple months where I'm like, more on like a YouTube binging, like,
Yeah, sometimes podcasts.
Yeah, podcasts a lot. And I read a book to my daughter a couple nights ago about Gandhi, and then I just got on this huge Gandhi kick and like just started all the Gandhi information I could consume.
That's awesome.
That's how my brain goes. But on a scale of 1 to 100, how fired up do you usually get after a coaching call?
100, 200.
Is it safe to say that's probably your favorite thing to do?
Yeah, or even just like calls like this, like with you or with clients. Yeah, it makes me so happy. Yeah.
You connect with other people with like similar energy and similar mindset. It's a really powerful thing. That's why I love these retreats so much too, that like me and Joey are hosting one in Arizona. So maybe you could make a guest appearance. We're gonna go lift at the outdoor gym again.
Let's go. I'm in.
That gym was so sick, man. That thing was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was so powerful to me, like having a men's retreat and getting 7-8 guys together that are just all like-minded. All their whole mindset is just, I want to get better, and then they want to share and help everybody else. It's such a powerful thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, what's one unique talent or skill or interesting fact about you that not many people know about?
Oh man, I was not ready for this.
Put you on the spot here with these rapid fire questions.
Something people don't know about me.
Not to put you on the spot, but Chronicles of Nate sang a hymn for everybody. So are you a good singer?
No, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right, let's do a different one then. What's your current number of pull-ups you can do? Because I see you all the time increasing your pull-up, and I'm a big fan of pull-ups.
Like 5.
5 now? Good for you. Because I think when we met, you were only doing a couple, right?
Yeah, I've been flagging since I went to Costa Rica, but yeah, I'm at 5.
Nice, good for you. That's awesome. Good. I love that. That's sweet. So if people want to contact you, Mackenzie, how can they get a hold of you? Somebody's interested in coaching, I'll put your links below, but what's the best way to reach out to you or get a hold of you for that?
Yeah, I'd say just on Twitter, shoot me a DM at Smith with 2 H's, Mackenzie, or on Instagram at fit_with_Mackenzie. Just shoot me a DM and we can talk if you have any questions or want coaching, whatever. Yeah, that's the best place to reach me.
Awesome. How's the newsletter going too? This is what me and you, I sent out my first newsletter. I didn't send it out for 4.5 months, and then I knew you were coming on here today, and I'm like, I gotta get it. It's me and you joke.
I saw that. I was like, I'm not tired. You're killing it.
Sucks so bad. It's a shell of a newsletter.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's send out a new newsletter here in the next week. Then that's your goal. All right.
Okay.
Well, I thank you so much for coming on, Mackenzie. I've told you this before, kind of off stream, but it really means a lot to me that, like, having a daughter who's 6, and then, I see young women like you, Kelly, a lot of people on the platform that are just have kind of figured it out a lot quicker than I figured it out, and I hope that my daughter someday is in her early 20s and is working on manifestations and then mindset and all these things and being healthy and living a healthy way. So I love that she has role models, like you to look up to. So I appreciate all you do and all you put out there.
That means a lot. Thank you, Ty. I appreciate you as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for coming on. This has been Tyromper's No Limit Podcast, episode something 13, 14, 15, not sure, somewhere around there. Click in the channel, you'll see it. But I appreciate you guys. If you find any value of this content, like and subscribe. Always helps the channel out a lot. I'll be having more guests coming on here in the next week or two. You guys go have the best day of your lives. Be kind to people, pour in, be the best you, talk to yourself kindly, and have a great night. Any last words, Mackenzie?
That's it. You said it perfectly.
Thanks, guys. Have a blessed night.